Hello, this is Dr. Terrence Duncan, the host of Mahogany Thoughts, a podcast focused on Black social economic issues. And I have my co-host with me, Terrence Butler, and the Queen, Carmel Brown. What's going on, Butler?
What up, what up?
It's happening. And then we have Queen Carmel. What's going on with you, Carmel?
Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Good. So before we begin the podcast, we're going to talk about how crazy I am. And so today, I literally just got back from Las Vegas. I'm functioning under 12 hours of sleep. So we're going to try to make it happen the best way we can. And I had a great time in Vegas. We celebrated a friend of mine's 50th birthday. And so here I am now pretty much in a sleepy haze, but we're going to punch through it and stuff because it's always timely to get good content and good information. So what's going on in y'all world in the past week? Anything news or anything that you want to talk about?
For me, just getting ready. My daughter's about to graduate high school. Apparently she got this, I don't know if they boyfriend and girlfriend or not. So I'm dealing with a dating situation. So I got my emotions kind of all over the place right now.
I like the way you say dating situation.
Yeah. I haven't had a chance to talk with the dude. I've seen him and shook his hand like as he was walking out of the YMCA. We haven't had that talk yet. So they're not dating yet until we had that talk.
Well, if you want me to run surveillance out there during the day and stuff, man, you know I can get in the car and get mobile in a heartbeat.
Man, drones and you got some drones. We can have it all going. For real.
Now, I got a drone, but it's not going to go that far and stuff. So what's going to happen, we'll fly it and try to put surveillance on my man, and then he's going to like drop a nickel, and then the drone's going to fall right in front of him. Then I got to take off running. Got to dive into it.
We'll make it work on the fly.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to find a way to make it happen.
There's a drone around our neighborhood. I don't know who it is. I think it's a young guy in one of the apartments nearby, and he just flies it all around for hours.
Well, you need to definitely keep an eye on that stuff because you got a bunch of creeps running around. But I did see. Did you have a Muhammad Ali poster in the background?
Yes, sir.
Let me see that. Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
That is my husband shaking his hand at the. I believe that was 2000 when the Rams won the Super Bowl, and he was in Atlanta.
Nice.
That was when my husband still had hair.
That's my favorite athlete, Muhammad.
Man, Muhammad Ali is the greatest of all time. Literally, you could talk about GOATs in any sports, but Muhammad Ali, for what he did to transit it all, man, he's the greatest ever. No question in my book. Is that Mike Tyson too?
That is.
You got great paraphernalia back there.
I'm telling you.
We were going to a Blues game, and this black SUV pulls up, and we said somebody famous is going to come out of there, and we kept looking and got closer, and here he comes out, and I got a picture of him and my husband.
Nice. You got a picture with two champs.
Yep.
Nice. I haven't been close to a boxing champion, so I mean, see, that's what I'm saying. On this podcast, you just never know what's gonna be discussed. So we're going to get straight into it. We're going to talk about government contracting and the person who's speaking on the phone, the person who's speaking on the Zoom call. For those who are not able to see it on YouTube or Facebook Live, is Ms. Giovanna, and somebody I've been working with for a while for government contracting and just get my business off the ground. Learned a lot of great information, and we're going to actually share that information with you. So it's presentation time. It's sponsored by. Go ahead, Carmel. Who will be sponsored by?
We are sponsored by Carmel D. Brown LCPC Counseling Services.
All right. Butler, who else are we sponsored by?
We're also sponsored by DF Global Insurance Advisors. More choices, better service.
Man, you sound like one of them people off them commercials and stuff.
He does.
Whatever prescription commercial.
That was awesome.
Man. Yeah, that was great. That's a sales pitch. Jill used to talk to us about a sales pitch. And it's also sponsored by Mahogany Thoughts, which is the name of the podcast. I finally finished the book, Carmel. Finally.
I'm sorry.
I said I finally finished writing the book.
Yay! Congratulations. That's
right?
huge.
I know.
See, all you needed was a trip to Vegas.
That's when I wrote it too, on a flight back to Vegas.
That's great. Congratulations.
So, thank you. So the book is 400 pages. It officially cleared 400 pages. Thank you, sir. And it focuses on Black social economic issues, but it has up to 100 recommendations from a policy, strategic planning, small business, larger organizations, mental health. There's all types of background, and everything's based on the facts. So I did a lot of research on this. And so this is where the podcast is stemming from, and Butler and Queen Carmel, with them being on the show, they've been very supportive of not only the podcast, but also my vision and stuff. And this is their vision as well. So, I set some hard deadlines and stuff, and I don't want to look like a chump. So I had to try to get to them the best way as possible. So I said we was going to be finished with some projects by June, more likely end of June, but I want to have a good second half of the summer. Do I? Thank you. Okay, so we have another technical difficulty. This is awesome. Like I said, I just came from Vegas, so I'm not as sharp as I usually am.
Is it true that what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? I've only gone there once. Butler, have you ever gone to Vegas?
I've been to Vegas twice. I had a good time each time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard? I'm sorry.
I said I'm never bored in Vegas.
Well, I have to say the one time that I did go, I didn't truly get to enjoy the full essence of Vegas. I went for a fitness and wellness event. Have you guys ever heard of Team Beachbody?
Yes.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I went to a Team Beachbody convention, so it was all fitness and health related. So I didn't do any gambling or any of the casino stuff, but I did stay at MGM.
Gotcha.
Awesome. I've never been.
Never been to Vegas? No, hold on now. You got to pick with the champ, but you never been to Vegas.
Nope. I'll get there though.
I'm sure you will.
Just like a 24-hour party.
I'm sure you will. Okay, well, we got the slides back up and stuff. We got the little situation taken care of. So we already had our sponsors, and away we go. This is just not fun today. Okay, so the topics for this particular podcast, we're going to discuss ways to secure generational. This is a long slide. Oh my gosh. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about government contracting. All right. So we're going to go back and resume the slide one more time. And this is also what happens when you rush. So our topics for our particular podcast is that we're going to discuss government contracting. And it's very important to discuss government contracting because there are numerous opportunities for Black businesses and across many industries, but we definitely want to make sure that that we are trying to pivot into contractual opportunities with the government, whether it be federal, state, or local. Oh, goodness gracious.
Hey, I'm getting to relax, so I'm good.
I know. I know you get to see me like in a quasi panic. I'm not actually in a panic. Okay, so we got this slide. So why are we doing government contracting? Why are we discussing it? Because there's money that's exclusively set aside for minority businesses. Agencies have contract specialists to assist with bid responses. And I actually had participated in one of those, what they call industry days. And I thought that was very informative because they had a contract specialist, and it was really interesting because outside, when you're dealing with the government, they have a particular individual assigned for that role. But in reality, you might have a diversity officer in public organizations, but they don't really say, okay, we're going to go out and make sure that we're going to hire so many different people for these particular roles because there's federal laws against having a quota. But it's interesting that in the government, you basically have something almost similar to a quota-like system. In government contracting, businesses can earn a high earning value when it comes to revenue. Some businesses have made millions of dollars. I do remember reading in the St. Louis American, there was this one guy, African American, I think he was either a construction or project manager, and I think he made like $30 million over his government contracting business in construction and project management. So there are definitely numerous opportunities that exist, and it's a low cost entry to begin. So whereas some jobs or some businesses that you're trying to create where you might have to have the inventory or required to buy different equipment to get your business going. In some situations, government contracting, some of the jobs that you can bid for, you may not necessarily have to have a lot of money to start off initially. The Small Business Development Council, Southern Illinois University, they have a Small Business Development Council office. This is where I met Gio, and they have offices scattered all across the country in different locations, may not necessarily be with the university, but what they do is that they assist businesses with startups. They help you work on your business plans, as well as helping you with online boarding. So there is a lot of red tape and a lot of bureaucracy involved with government contracting. There's a lot of forms, repetitive categories that you have to fill out over and over again. But working with the Small Business Office, they are able to help you out in this particular endeavor. The Small Business Council can also help provide direction and subject matter expertise in interacting with state and federal agencies. And they can also assist you with market research. And from a personal story, I know that when I had tried to start the consultant business in healthcare risk management, I did reach out to Gio and I said, hey, I need to reach out to nursing homes or assisted living facilities. And she actually, with the marketing assistant, was able to provide me a list of different entities in the state of Illinois, as well as their address and I believe their primary phone number. So, this was pre-COVID. If COVID did happen, I probably would have been able to use that to my benefit to accumulate revenue. But, COVID is what it is. But it's good to know that I can go back to this small business office and ask for that particular type of research or assistance again. And then also they assist you in obtaining government registrations to bid on local, state, and federal contracts. Our guest is Joanne DiMaggio May. She goes by Giovanna, and she's the director of the Illinois Small Business Development Center at Southern Illinois University in Edwardsville. She assists small business owners with business formation as well as workshops, and she actually has a workshop that she is hosting with different speakers and different agencies this week in the Metro East area. And she also helps with business counseling. So if you have questions about the appropriate formation that you would like to have for your business, whether it be a sole proprietorship or a LLC or S corporation, she can help provide guidance on that. And also she connects businesses to resources for government contract. And so prior to this call, we talked about one of the contacts that she helped me get affiliated with. And I was able to participate in a cohort where I learned about how to do business with the state as well as how to do business with the federal agencies. So without further ado, we have Ms. Gio.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate the invitation and love being part of this. We do a lot of advising one-on-one with small businesses and new entrepreneurs, just providing general assistance from the business plan, marketing strategy, HR, cash flow management, really anything that has to do with the daily operation. And then as Dr. Duncan was mentioning, we have our Procurement Technical Assistance Center that also helps with the government contracting. So there's a lot of opportunities to become certified, receive notifications on different contracts to bid, and then also just networking and being involved, as mentioned, industry days and things like that. So definitely let us know if we can help your small business.
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, I've worked with Gio off and on for about a couple of years. I know when I first started working with her, I was still working in the industry as a healthcare risk manager. And now I'm pretty much on my own, freelance, and do some consulting here and there. And so I still, like I said, still maintain regular contact with Gio. And I was actually, with her assistance, able to do some non-credit continuing ed with the school at the end of, or hopefully in fall. So depending on registration, obviously. But it is very nice just through that relationship to be a part of Southern Illinois University, and to be able to, actually, we're going to, the class we're going to do is one of our books, Gio. So the second book, the Dynamic Leadership, that's going to be the one where I'll be doing the workshops on. So that's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That's great.
So like I said, I know you have a workshop going on this week. I know that you said prior to this week that there was, the registration is closed. There's a time limit for the registration to take place and whatnot. So just how often do you guys provide workshops, and how can individuals be able to find out information about that?
Well, I would say the easiest way to find out about our workshops and webinars and training opportunities is through our website and our Facebook page. So definitely, keep an eye on our website, probably 3-4 times a month. We offer different training opportunities. Just last week, we had 2 events back to back, one on small business innovation research grants, and another one on business enterprise programs. So just supporting small and diverse businesses, and working, with universities and the PTAC and government contracting. So we have opportunities probably 3 to 4 times a month. They're very low cost. Most of the time, they're even free. So our advice and training is usually at no cost or very minimal cost. We do QuickBooks training. My colleague Marty is certified, and 5 hours of QuickBooks training is only $99. So very affordable. We also have other resources like our podcasting studio, if you're looking for a quiet space to do an interview or even a monologue for a very low rental fee. And if you need editing, we can even provide some editing services too.
Awesome, awesome. And Butler, do you have any questions for Gio?
Yes, because I don't know much about government contracting at all. So when you said you help businesses get certified, what kind of certification were you talking about?
Great question. Thank you. So there are certifications based on gender and veteran status, minority, disadvantaged, hub zone. So based on like that geographic area, if it's a historically underutilized business area, if you're a minority, veteran, woman, there are certifications that you can go through the process to be certified so that you have an advantage, basically a leg up, as Dr. Duncan was mentioning, when it comes to these contract opportunities. So larger corporations and governments are obligated to, set aside essentially a certain amount of these contracts for these smaller, women-owned, minority-owned, veteran-owned businesses. So it gives a great opportunity, to become a subcontractor even, or maybe a mentor protege opportunity. Just a great way to get into the field and get some experience so that then you can build up and become a larger contractor and be more eligible and more able to get those larger contracts, more experience under your belt.
So when you were talking about the contracts, what can you give an example of some types of contracts that you've helped companies obtain?
Well, there's, municipalities, for example, looking for janitorial services. Maybe it's a city hall or, a government building looking to get the cleaning services. It could even be contracting for new construction. in the city, or road work, infrastructure, those kind of things. Usually, we're not talking small retail type items mostly. These would be larger opportunities like, consulting, construction, janitorial services, IT services. It could be a school or a library, maybe a hospital looking for some cybersecurity or IT assistance. So there's a lot of different opportunities, but we're not usually talking about, a clothing store or a restaurant for the most part.
Gotcha. And last question, is there a site where anyone can go that they can see what contracts are available to bid on?
Yes. So I believe it's FedBizOps is the main website that shows a lot of those opportunities. But if you get a hold of us or your local Procurement Technical Assistance Center, and you can do that through the SBA website, you can just click the tab for local assistance and then type in your zip code, and it'll show you what offices are nearby, and they can certainly help you with bid matching. What bid matching is an easy way to put those keywords into a system so that you get email notification. You don't have to sift through that, huge list every day. You're going to get emails that are specific to you. So, if you're a janitorial service, it's going to say cleaning, waxing, commercial cleaning. It's going to have all these keywords so that you get emails when those specific contracts come up that are valuable to you, and you don't have to sift through a list that includes everything.
Gotcha. So from my understanding, first we can come to you to get our certification if we're a minority business or women-owned business, veteran business. And then you'd help us navigate through the bidding process, basically, of getting whatever contracts are available if possible.
We cannot write the proposal, the paperwork, but we can certainly assist with making sure, all the elements are there, your capability statement, and, guiding you through the written process so that it is polished and ready. And, to be honest, my office, the Small Business Development Center, does the general business assistance. We can help you get your DUNS number, which is that business identification number. We can help you get your SAM registration so that you're in the government system and you get paid essentially when these contracts are awarded. But our Procurement Technical Assistance Center, the PTAC, is the one that can really guide you through the certification process. They're the ones that will help you submit all the documents and get all that paperwork filed so that you can become, 8A certified, HubZone, minority, woman, veteran, whatever the case might be.
Gotcha. Okay. Great info.
And before Carmel asks her questions, one thing to kind of share too, and one thing I've learned with Gio and working with others with the small business offices, is that there are a lot of people who are going to try to sell their services to try to help you with the advertising or, get your capability statement and stuff like that. You can do all that for free.
Exactly.
There's because the moment that you get a actual government registration number, you have to understand that there are businesses through, marketing is almost almost like predator and prey type situation. So there's a lot of inexperienced people who start their business up, and then they'll start getting inundated with emails for $20 or $200. And next, you're getting stuck on this annual or, bi-monthly charge on your account and stuff, because most people are not going to utilize it, almost similar as going to the gym. Another opportunity, Butler, just to kind of piggyback off of what Jill was saying, I remember at Industry Day, they actually had at Carlisle Lake a landscaping contract. And I think the landscaping contract was maybe a couple $100,000. And there was a allocation for minority businesses, to go out there, and anything that receives federal money has to allocate for minority businesses. And to the best of my knowledge, nobody bidded on it. So that's a gap, and there are significant disparities with Black businesses in contracting, but there's millions and millions of dollars available, and it's just a matter of really sticking with it and going through all the red tape, to get through that. So.
Right. We're here to help, and we have a lot of resources. It is overwhelming and daunting on your own. So that's why we're here to make that process easier. And you're absolutely right. Always make sure that the website ends in .gov usually. If they ask for any fees, always double check, because you can get your DUNS, you can get your SAM registration, you can get your EIN, all of that at no cost. So there are companies out there that try to make their money just by, doing these things that you don't realize could be done for no cost.
Absolutely. Queen Carmel?
Yes, I would like to ask, have you found that here in the recent past that the government has maybe shifted a focus towards any specific type of business? I know that sometimes private and governmental entities sometimes switch from one focus to the next. You see them contributing more funds to specific programming. Have you seen any shifts over the past year?
Well, I think COVID has maybe making that a little difficult, and there's definitely been a halt to a lot of in-person events. But I know probably a couple of years ago, there was a strong focus on the minority contracting and getting businesses certified. We did an event in East St. Louis, and it's amazing if you pull up the number of minority businesses that are certified. I mean, you can count them on your hand, or even less than 5. And, that's definitely not the case. They just haven't gone through the process, and it's something that definitely could be very valuable. So it's just a, lack of knowledge and support and resources. So we're definitely doing what we can to get the word out there and help these businesses. And I know reciprocity is also an issue. So sometimes businesses that are certified in Illinois have to also be certified in Missouri if the contract is in St. Louis or somewhere in Missouri. So they have to go through another, set of steps and procedures, and it's just a lot of work. And there's talk, and hopefully something that can be done to make that easier.
Okay. It sounds like there are several steps that need to happen in order to get certified. What is step one for a business that's already an entity that already has a tax ID number and such?
Well, if you have your tax ID, your EIN, then the next step would be that DUNS and the SAM registration. That is very important when it comes to government contracting, and also with grants potentially that come out through the federal and state offices. After that, it really just depends on the certification. There is a Grant Accountability Transparency Act. So, there's a whole process that you have to follow. And the government basically checks to see if you have that EIN, have that done, SAM, if you're in good standing with the state, if you've renewed your LLC and all of that. If you've ever had a government contract before, they also look at that history and, has there ever been a stop payment, for any issues, things like that. So really it's your EIN, your DUNS, your SAM, and then the GATA, the Grant Accountability Transparency Act. And then if you're woman owned, there's a set of, documents that you have to provide for that. The business would have to be at least 51% owned by a woman. And not even just that, they also, we can't say that it's a woman owned roofing company if the woman is not actually on the roof doing the work. It's not enough just to be on the inside. You actually have to be able, without let's say that man present to, to perform those duties. So you have to be at least 51% ownership and also be able to perform the duties. If you're a veteran, you have to prove that with your DD 214, I believe is the document. Hub zone, that's all based on the census tract and looking at the map and determining these underutilized business zones. So, say for example, East St. Louis, Granite City, there's a lot of areas in that region, in that geographic area that qualify. So Hub Zone is also a certification that you can receive. But it's not just enough for your business to be located in a hub zone. Also, I believe 35% of your employees have to be in a hub zone. So you're employing basically people that are maybe struggling to find those jobs as well. And it doesn't have to be the same hub zone, but a different hub zone is fine. But I believe it's 35% of your employees have to be in a hub zone as well. So there's a lot of steps. 8A certification, I believe, is like an 8-9 year program. There's also Department of Transportation certifications, all of those things that can apply just depending on the industry that you're.
Okay. Yeah. One last question. Do you find that these the grantors of these particular funds and contracts tend to favor non-for-profits over maybe private businesses or public entities?
I mean, I wouldn't say that's the case. Usually, with a lot of these contracts, I mean, these are for-profit businesses.
Okay.
That can perform the work. I mean, usually a commercial cleaning company, a contractor, a roofer, IT service, those are most of the time for-profit businesses.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
While we're talking, I just typed this up all of a sudden, at least I got that right. So this actually, I'm gonna leave this up while we're talking. These are some of the websites that you can use to kind of get yourself going to start a business. So the SAM.gov is reference to what Gio was talking about as far as getting into the award system. That is very critical. I did put IRS.gov on there. So for, Carmel, the three of us, we all have our business ID, but for those who don't know what an EIN is or what a business ID entails, it's basically a number assigned. It's basically your business social security number. And as you continue to matriculate through your business, you grow your business, you start applying for business credit and things of that nature, you definitely have to use your EIN. And I can tell you personally that some lenders will not lend you the money until you convert to an LLC. So I found it out very quickly the hard way, but I was still able to get what I needed to get. SBA.gov, that website has a lot of good information as well for research materials. And the good thing too, y'all, is that even for those who may watch this later, is that they have a lot of how-to videos. They have a lot of tutorials, and it's very meticulous. It's very step by step on trying to help you out. And then their contact, they also have a good contact support. So there has been times where I've had some issues, with their databases, and it is intimidating at first, but they were able to help guide me through. And then the last website that you see on there, that is related to GATA, and that is dealing with the the grantee portal for the state of Illinois. Obviously, you would have to look it up for what is respective for your states for those who are not living in the state of Illinois. But because of that, that's the way I prove that I'm a legitimate business, is because I'm registered not only with the federal government, but I'm also registered with the state government. So when it is time for me to do that pivot, and hopefully that pivot as a team will begin in the second half of the year, then we can go ahead and start attacking those resources. Because again, you have to remember, there's so much money that's allocated for minority businesses, whether you're a veteran, whether you're Hispanic, whether you're Black, and Native American or whatever. And we have first dib on those contracts. And so you do have to meet a certain skill set, and they do have a merit rating system for it. But if you are able to have a skill set or in a situation where you can build a team, like for example, I'll just use this for an example for those listening. Let's say that Butler, Quinn Carmel and I, we get together, we decide we start bidding after contracts. We could take the combination of Butler's financial experience. We could take Carmel's mental health and business coaching experience on there, as well as the variety of skill sets that I bring, from a project management standpoint, from an educational standpoint, whatever. And we can start going after those contracts, or we can start partnering with somebody like McCarthy Building Company, who may say, okay, well, we need to have a minority professional development team. And so if we meet if we meet their criteria skill set, the three of us as a one entity, we can bid on that particular contract and work with the McClatchy, I think it's McCarthy or McClatchy companies, to get that contract. And those contracts are pretty extensive. When you first start off, it's like, getting a new credit card. You're going to have limits with the contract. But as you continue to grow and you build those relationships with these government agencies, all of a sudden you can start bidding for $250,000 contracts. You might be able to bid for $500,000 contracts, and you just continue to go up, but you have to show fiscal austerity or good fiscal accounting controls. So there are some very strict requirements for it. And but once you're in, there's a lot of lucrative opportunities, and that's just really something that I do try to encourage many Black businesses to do. I know that Jill and I are working, and actually, she just noticed now the three of us are going to be working with Geo to help, try to be a conduit of sorts for Black businesses, so we can help, help improve economic opportunities for us up and down the corridor. So definitely appreciate that. Butler, do you have any other questions?
I did have one more. You mentioned the EIN number, the DUNS number, and was it a SANS registration? SANS?
SAM.
SAM.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What is a SAM registration?
It's System Award Management. It's essentially the portal that you put all your business information in so that you get paid when those contracts are secured and performed. But also it's just a way to kind of house your business information for the government. So when those opportunities come up, you're in that system.
Gosh, okay.
One thing, I don't know if I said it, but maybe I thought it. Make sure you have a bookmark on like a bookmark folder for all your government websites, and something where you can or be able to know where your passwords are, because there are a lot of websites that you got to get comfortable in navigating. At one point I had 15, now I'm down to 4. And I dibble and dabble, but like I said, I haven't really got into it yet. But you definitely want to make sure that you bookmark your websites. And also, I do know, Butler, that for your SAM, you have to have a notary. It has to be notarized.
A letter.
A
Mhm.
letter notarized and stuff. It has to be an official company letterhead. One thing about the government too, for those who are interested in bidding or who already has the prerequisite registrations, they're very, very, very particular to the point where if you don't do what they're asked, they're going to reject it. I can take that from experience too. Like I actually had a SAM letterhead, and it was really silly. I mean, it was just I didn't have it on a company letterhead, so I just drew up something and threw it on there, and they passed it. They talked to me and everything, had a whole half-hour conversation with me and everything else and stuff. And it's like, well, you don't have an official letterhead. And I was like, well, can I just upload it to you? No, you got to send it. You got to get it notarized and send it in the mail. Whatever. But the thing is, that's how particular they are. And when you are sitting with the contract specialist, whether it be for industry day or through a referral through Geo, they'll tell you, how specific that they are and what exactly that they're looking for. Because you have to think of it like this, especially when it comes to the federal level. The government is a large economic generator. A lot of people don't think that. They think, oh, government's too big and this and that. You take away the federal government, you take away billions and billions of dollars of jobs. Because like where my son is stationed at, if something is broke on that plane, the Air Force doesn't fix it. It gets contracted out. They actually have money allocated for repairs and defects, to go to certain businesses with a minority component, and that's their deal the entire year. So if you're in that Florida area and and you're pretty good in mechanical and fixing up stuff, you can get a contract, and if you're one of the few minority companies that's doing it, there might be an opportunity where you might even mess around and get a sole source contract where they don't have to go through a formal bidding criteria up to a certain dollar figure. And they say, okay, well, we like Mahogany Thoughts team. So, we've done business with them before, we're comfortable. Well, we need this project done. We can give you guys up to $50,000 without actually putting in a bid. And that's just on a federal level. So on the state level, they have a lot of similarities. But, the thing is to underscore is to, why not, right? And in Carmel's situation, I'm thinking about, with her business model, how it could probably fit some potential contracts, especially upstate near Chicago, where they may be looking for a business performance coach, or they may be looking for something to do with benefits administration or EAP, so there's a lot of different opportunities there. And the biggest thing is, like I tell people who are interested, it's free, and it's not only is it free, you actually have something that has a program designated to give money to Black people for business, whereas you go to corporate America, it's a crapshoot. I mean, we make our bones how we do and stuff, but there is like, why not? What's the downside of not doing it? So, Carmel.
No, I don't have any more questions. This is really great information, and I'm definitely taking notes.
Good, because we're gonna have a conversation about this at some point.
All right.
No, definitely. And then, like I said, I do want to be respectful of Jill's time, so this will be the shortest show ever, because I know she's actually working on a major multi-day workshop with different speakers, and I know there's a lot of energy and coordination with that, because you also are doing Zoom sessions as well, right? So you're Zooming and you're having live in person this week.
We have one live venue, and then it's being streamed out virtually to anyone. And then we also have 4 locations that people can actually go to if they want to watch it with a small group, just to get out of the house, away from the kids, whatever it might be. So we have the Alton Post Commons, the Edwardsville Lodge, the Troy Tri-City Library, and the View at 11 South in Columbia.
Awesome. And once again, how can people reach out to your office? I don't know, I can't remember if we established that and stuff, but what's the best way people can reach out to your office for any kind of assistance with getting a business set up, whether it be government contracting or beyond?
The easiest way is through email, and or you can give us a call. You can find all of our information on our website, www.siue.edu/SBDC. And you can also follow us on Facebook, Illinois Small Business Development Center for the Metro East at SIUE. And we have, like I said, at least 3 events or so a month. So we look forward to providing resources and helping your small business.
Absolutely. And I do have 2 questions, because it just popped up in my mind, stuff just based on the questions we've received so far. What are the biggest challenges that you see for minority businesses as far as their startups are concerned? Like, is there a particular process or a step that they're not doing correctly? Or is it follow through or whatever and stuff? Just, for those, so that way they can kind of better prepare for the process, just in case they might get a little intimidated or concerned.
It is definitely overwhelming. There's a lot to do. So I would say, the biggest thing is financing. Having the idea and getting it on paper with the business plan is definitely a lot of work. But then you also have to be able to get that loan or, a partner, an investor. So that's the biggest challenge. And I think that's, for a lot of businesses. I also think, with minorities, it's not only the access to capital, but also, credit situations, and just, lack of resources, lack of knowing where to go, and understanding that there is support there. So just building that network, and sometimes people can be a little sheltered and stay in their, small little groups, and they don't always, try to get out and meet more people, and get to know the business community and things like that. So there's a lot of factors, personal and financial, but I think, if you're really dedicated and hardworking, you can make it happen. And it doesn't have to be, the biggest grandiose idea, from the very beginning. You can build up to that. I always tell my small businesses and entrepreneurs, how can you make this business happen and gain some traction with the least amount of money? Do you have to have a building? Maybe not always. Do you have to have 20 products? No, you could start with 5. You could maybe have virtual assistants and student interns and friends and family, whatever the case is. So there's a lot of opportunities to get the business going. It just takes a lot of hard work and dedication, and you can do it.
Absolutely. And, one of the things too to keep in mind is that the governor of Illinois and also the director or co-director, he's African-American. He's the Illinois DEOC, is that correct?
Is it DCEO?
DCEO, yeah, I got the letters mixed up. Thanks, Carmel.
You're
So they've actually dropped the prices of LLCs and actually made the process a little bit more streamlined to encourage minority investments. And for those who are kind of skeptical of doing business with the government or just doing business in general, they recognized, and I actually remember sitting in this workshop and seminar, they actually recognized and stuff that they had a deficit, a significant deficit in minority businesses. And so that was actually one of Governor Pritzker's main platform points, is to ensure that that there's more minority businesses. And these businesses, again, if you're, for the podcast is being hosted in the St. Louis metro area on the Illinois side, but if you are a registered business entity, you can do business upstate, downstate, in the middle of the state. You can do business anywhere in the state of Illinois. So if you are trying to make money in St. Louis and it's not working for you, you can go to the Chi and make a lot of money, because the Chi is 5 times bigger, 4 or 5 times bigger than St. Louis. So, and a lot of it may not have to require physical activity, but but there are different things that you can work with your government partners and with the business office or business development office to be able to help you out. So that's something to really keep in mind. And also another thing I want to add too is that they actually send a lot of good informational emails. So even if you're not participating in these workshops, like Gio said, sometimes you got to basically be comfortable being uncomfortable, step outside your box, meet new people. They have a variety of workshops, everything from managing your finances to how to balance your books, according to IRS regulations, how to network. It's just, how to search for grants. I mean, they have all that types of classes and they're free. You know what I'm saying? So you can do whatever it is, with the state, and you don't have to pay anybody to show you how to do it. You can learn this information just by going to a website. You don't even have to really go to YouTube. Excuse me. But once you're in, those opportunities expand any which way you want, because those businesses that do report your activity, they have compliance standards as well. And so they have actually, I believe, stronger ethical responsibilities than you would from your larger organizations that may be in the metropolitan area. So with that said, we wanted to definitely try to wrap this up by 8, and it's 8 o'clock now. Any departing thoughts, starting with you, Queen Carmel?
No, I don't have very many thoughts. I'm definitely glad that you joined us this evening, Joanne. And like I said, this has been great information, and I look forward to learning more. I did once again join in on one of the trainings or seminars that you guys hosted last week. I think it was last week or the week before. and got some great information there, and definitely interested in learning more about what you guys do and how you guys can help me in my business, and then
Sure.
also how you can help others.
Happy to help. There's a lot of ways, like I said, from, just the business planning and development, strategic planning, marketing, HR, cash flow management, just really looking at all areas of your business. Is really what we do to help. And we have opportunities, for networking and spotlighting your business and, getting you out there even more.
Great. We need a Mahogany Thoughts meeting with the SBDC.
Well,
Look
actually,
forward to it.
that's actually something Gio and I had talked about. And I'm really looking forward to that. The biggest obstacle right now is just COVID. But, Gio had said that, the SBDC will be working with us, as, they have a desire to help grow minority businesses. And, one of the things that I argued for, and Gio was definitely in agreement for, is that you need something of a conduit that looks like the representation of the people. And so, who better else than us, right? So, so the goal is to hopefully, do some stuff in collaboration with not only the SBDC, but with other agencies that partner with them to help provide, educational seminars or workshops, or even just, even consulting opportunities and stuff. So there is definitely a lot of upside with this relationship, and very thankful for you, Gio, to be, on board. So Butler, do you have any departing thoughts?
Oh, once again, want to show appreciation for you taking your time out with us. I've learned a lot just from my small time together, and I hope that when others tune in or may see it later or in the archives, I hope they just really take advantage of this information, because there are so many people, like you said, that go at it alone. They get frustrated and don't know the ins and outs of everything. And people that have a desire for business, they do need help, and they need resources and things like that to make that walk even easier. So definitely appreciation to you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. And, even an existing business that has been around for 10 or 20 years can benefit a lot of times from our services. Maybe they haven't looked at their website in a while. Maybe they're looking to expand and hire, whatever the case might be. There's a lot that we can do to support and help them. And we have a lot of great partners from the state, county, city level, and the university has a lot of resources too that we can tap into. So look forward to working with all of you more.
Absolutely. And then also too, I forgot to say this, that sometimes they even have competition. They have case competitions where they're offering $20,000, $30,000 grants based on, certain criteria. So definitely opportunities available. And we definitely look forward to not only working with you, Gio, in the second half of the year, but hopefully we'll be able to come back on the show again in the future as well. But we definitely appreciate the time that you have dedicated for us tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And what was your contact information?
So my email is gdimage, GDIMAGG @siue.edu. And our phone number is 618-650-2929.
All right, awesome. Great, thank you.
And the website is siue.edu/SBDC.
Okay, great.
Well,
Thank you.
definitely appreciate it, Gio. And I guess I'll be seeing you tomorrow at the workshop. I'll be more bright-eyed, bushy-tailed.
I may not be there in the morning at the first session. I'm working at one of the remote sites, but definitely enjoy. And, if anyone else is interested in coming along, bring them with you, or let me know and I can share the link so that they can watch it virtually too.
You know what? How about you? Can you go ahead and just email me the link? I'll not only send it to Butler and Queen Carmel, but also would it be a problem if I put it on the Facebook site?
Not a problem.
Okay, well, there it is. We put it on the site this evening.
Great. That's great. Yeah, I saw that you guys were having 3 or 4 sessions, but I didn't know exactly what that meant. Because I get the emails from you guys
Mhm.
every, about all the events, but I wasn't sure exactly what they entailed.
Yeah, there's lots of different speakers. It was kind of a lot of information to put all on one flyer. But if you went to the website, Small Business Week, SBW, Southwestern Illinois, SWIL.org, you would see the lineup. We have 4 speakers each day for the 3 days. We have accounting, legal, which is HR, legal. We have sales, productivity, social media. There's just a lot of different topics throughout the 3 days. And we thought, if people wanted to get out in a small group and be in a welcoming environment, we have the satellite locations. We did have to close registration yesterday. But if someone is interested, they can definitely get a hold of us and watch it virtually or go to the live venue in Fairview
Okay. Great.
at the Sheraton.
Okay.
All righty. Well, that concludes our 24th episode. We have 2 more left. And then the season is crazy. I think we knocked out, 11 or 12 episodes this season?
Real quick. Yep.
It did. That happened in a hurry and stuff. And we're taking a nice long break from podcasting at least, but we're not taking a break from each other because we still have so much to do, especially with SBDC trying to get that money. So next week, Queen Carmel's going to be running point on the show. We're going to be talking about nutrition and wellness. I'll be definitely interested in hearing about that, especially about her beet juice. She loves beet juice. I want her to really, really try to convince me why I got to drink beet juice because I still have
my beet juice is magical. Look, let me tell you guys, my dog, and this is no lie. You can ask Rachel about this, Terrence.
Okay.
My dog almost died 2 years ago. My dog's 15.
Oh, wow.
2 years ago, when my dog was 13 years old, we didn't think she was going to make it. Like, she couldn't hold her head up. She didn't eat for like 5 or 6 days. She lost like 6 or 7 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Within a week's time. She literally didn't eat. We put beet juice and shredded chicken in a syringe and fed it to her through a syringe, and it brought her back to life. And here we are 2 years later. My dog is 15 years old, running up and down the stairs. Literally, we took her to the hospital and they tried to tell us to leave her there. We wouldn't leave her because we didn't think she was going to make it. But on the way to Edwardsville, she in the backseat couldn't hold her head up. She was so weak she couldn't hold her head up.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm confident that if we had left her there, she would have made it through the night. But because we brought her home and fed her my beet juice, she's still here with us today.
There it is.
Well, what more do you need?
I know, right?
You still give it to your dog daily?
No, not daily, but every now and then I'll give her a little bit. I'll put a little bit over her food.
Well, I needed some beet juice today and stuff because the brother's struggling.
Hey, I'll make you some. Just tell me where you want it delivered.
I'm gonna have to get it from you real soon, that's for sure. But we're gonna definitely talk about the beet juice.
Okay.
I might need it by Thursday.
I know that's right. So yeah, so Queen Carmel's gonna so Carmel's actually gonna wrap up the actual season, because I know at the end of every season we always have a wrap up. So we wanted to make sure that Carmel got completely integrated into the team. I know Butler and I, we've been doing this for years, so we kind of, it's more natural feeding off and stuff. I think Carmel, you've done a hell of a job. Definitely appreciate you and stuff. And you're definitely part of the team and then some and stuff. So this has been a fun run. And you
guys have been great, and you guys have made me feel so welcome. So I totally appreciate that.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. But coming up soon though, it's all about Butler, man. We in them streets and we going live. We doing we got to start picking locations, and we're going out.
Yeah, we're gonna hit the streets for sure.
Yeah, that's like he was talking about. So Butler's running point on that. So that's his baby, so
I love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, man. Like I said, gym competitions and all types of stuff. So we, fitness center challenges, or we're gonna sit down and talk around with some business owners and just be able to have more of a intimate one-on-one conversation, live at whatever location. So that's going to be fun. Definitely going to be looking forward to that. But that concludes it for this particular episode. Tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo. So I wish I had time to celebrate, but I have a super busy day, but I'm pretty sure I'll slip a margarita in somewhere. So
I'm working till 7 tomorrow, 7 p.m. So I won't have much time to celebrate, but hey, it
Yeah,
is
you
what
might
it
want
is.
to
That's still happy hour time.
yeah.
Hey, you're
7
right.
p.m. is still happy hour.
You are so right. Perfect timing.
Well, I might be out later around after his band and stuff, but I might find me a little spot, you know.
Well, text Butler and I so we know if you're out.
Okay, I'll definitely let y'all know for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely let you know for sure. Well, that's it, guys. Well, I wish everybody a good night, in a great week, and hopefully in St. Louis things will get a little bit warmer, because when I got off the plane it was freezing, so wasn't ready for that. So we need to get back in the 70s and 80s soon. This is Mahogany Thoughts, episode 24. We are out.